today's show, we met up with Daniel Yap, this time to talk about their co-working space, Nook. I'm Patrick Lim and I'm a first-time entrepreneur. I founded a company manufacturing and designing urban city bags here in Malaysia. And because I was new to business, I had tons of questions and challenges that needed answers. I started talking with veteran entrepreneurs and they would tell me these great origin stories of theirs. On this show, we talk to entrepreneurs about how they brought their crazy ideas to life. We get to hear their stories of venture and challenges, and how they started from zero to hero. Okay, Daniel, we meet again.
Hello.
Hello.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has been. So, okay, we're back to talk about Nook, and well, of course, normally we'll talk about the background, your background, but I think we have gone through that.
Yeah, I think
extensively during the last show. So, a little bit of recap, just for those who did not watch the last one. So, many years in the advertising agency line, you climbed the ranks, and one day you decided, time to do something else.
Yep, that's
so
right.
You moved on, and you came to Fitology.
That's right. We founded Fitology.
Right. So let's talk about Nook. Which came first, Fitology or Nook? Which was the idea that spawned first?
Initially, we were looking for a space for Fitology.
Right.
Right. But in the back of our heads, we always, there was something in the back of my head where we always wanted to create some sort of place to work for young entrepreneurs and all that. And when we found this location in Bangsar, we thought it was perfect in a sense that it allowed us this extra space for us to pursue this idea of Nook. And really it did come about as a bit of an accident because primarily we were looking for a space for our gym.
Okay.
But because we got this entire building, we had this excess space, so we said, okay, let's revisit some of the ideas that we had in the past, and we said this is the best time for us to try it. Yeah.
Ideas. What were the ideas that were bouncing in the head?
Well, Nook as a co-working space, I cannot claim it to be my bright idea.
Sure.
I mean, we came up with the name and all that, but a friend of mine who runs a MBE business, a mailbox and etc.
Okay.
Yeah, he wanted to. He actually introduced me to this concept, and he wanted to start up a similar kind of co-working space in conjunction with his MBE business a couple of years ago. So I said, yeah, it's a good idea. I liked what he was trying to do, and when this space came up, I thought, okay, this is the right time or the right opportunity to do this. And of course, I asked his permission first. He didn't say no. So I pursued it. And that time, I didn't even know how many co-working spaces there were in Malaysia.
Right.
And then I thought we were like one of the first, and then I discovered that we weren't the first.
Yeah.
In fact, there was like Fluent Space. I think you've spoken to Kamal before.
Yeah, I did.
There White Space. White Space, I suppose, isn't so much a co-working space. They are still the model. I think is still more towards the rent a space type of concept, more like a service offices kind of business. Whereas a co-working space, as you know, it's a place where people just come and create loose affiliations with each other.
Right.
An opportunity to connect with the other entrepreneurs, other people, other freelancers to maybe perhaps collaborate and do stuff. And that's what I wanted to do with Nook.
So, what are, in a nutshell, what are the services that is available through Nook?
Essentially, we provide everything entrepreneur needs as an office space, right? First and foremost, a desk to work from,
right?
Broadband access, security, then all your other periphery stuff, like photocopy, network printer, fax machine, decent coffee, and pantry, conference rooms, meeting rooms. So we have all that. So as far as an entrepreneur is concerned, all he needs to do is bring his laptop, sign in, and he can start working already without having to think about other things. Okay, the only thing that we don't provide is telephony services. So like the receptionist or what some of these virtual offices provide.
Is there a reason why?
One of the main reasons is cost. The second reason is the kind of people that we are targeting don't usually need this kind of service.
Right.
It's just added cost to the business, and of course that cost will also be translated back into the cost
monthly
to
fees,
the monthly fees. So we decided very early on that we didn't need that. Most of us work out of our mobile phones anyway. Even for myself, I mean, this is my office, and I don't even use my office phone. It's almost 100% off my mobile. Yeah.
But it would be much nicer to have a landline on your name card than it is to have a mobile number only, right? Would that be a concern?
It hasn't been a concern.
Right.
In fact, I don't even bother to use my landline, as I said. So everybody contacts me through my mobile, and I think that's the way the mobile warrior is today.
It's the new era.
How they stay connected is through their mobile phones.
Through Gmail, through
Gmail,
Skype.
To Skype. A good example, maybe not the best example, is like Digi, for instance.
Right.
Digi started their hot desking style of office. They followed their headquarters in Telenor. Digi Malaysia also practices what they call hot desking, and none of their employees actually have a landline. So everybody just carries their mobile, and they can work out of anywhere within the complex.
Right. So for those who do not know what we're talking about, I think what you're referring to is Digi's new office that's been set up for like a couple of years back.
That's right.
Massive campus.
That's right.
And the idea of open space, no set tables. You can work from every corner, anywhere They have like tables and tables of
cafes. They have
cafes. They have huge a green lung for them to jog, for them to walk around.
That's right.
Full open space, very very nicely done.
We are a bit like that.
Right.
Except I don't hire them. They come on their own free will, and they can choose to work out of any of the space in Nook. Like where we're sitting right now. It's a nice place for a smoke, obviously, but some people just like to work right next to a nice
scenery.
It's very comfortable. It's not too warm. We have a nice sitting area, and some people just like sitting around and working as well. So we have different kinds of working desks. We have the traditional, desks with the traditional, executive chair. We have what we call the table, or rather standing desks. Well, technically it's a bar height table. You can sit on one of those. I was thinking of getting some bean bags, but I think that's probably going to be used for sleeping rather than working. But that's the idea. You can sit around and work wherever you want. And
what benefits do you see out of this? I mean, you used to take care of the Digi account, right?
No, I didn't do the Digi account.
Right.
I did the Yes account.
Yes, you did the Yes account. That's right. Okay. So for something like Digi's environment or something like Nook's environment, what do you see the benefits are to creativity, to the entrepreneurs that are hiring? They are
looking for these kind of spaces. Yeah. I think primarily, if you have ever worked from home before, and I'm sure you have,
still do.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem, I think you might also encounter this, when you work from home, the isolation doesn't provide you with energy.
True.
Yeah. Unless you're supremely motivated, it's very, very hard to concentrate on doing work.
Yes.
Because there's so many different distractions in a home. When you work in an office, when you have a place to go to and say, okay, when I get there, this is my workspace, somehow or other the dynamic is different. Okay, so a place like Nook provides that. The second thing that it does would be to provide you interaction with other people. And I'm not sure about you, but I tend to think better when I'm talking to someone. When you sit at home or by yourself with a whiteboard, you can draw some nice pictures, but when you're talking to somebody else, I think your thought process becomes a little more creative, or it is for me anyway.
You get refinement.
Yeah, you get refinement. You get feedback. instantly. You know, people can tell you whether it's a good idea, bad idea, whatever it is. And that is again something that you will get from a co-working space, because there are other people here that could provide you with some insight.
Right.
And the ability to just have friends and colleagues is something which is quite invaluable to any entrepreneur.
You don't have to pay their wages.
Yeah, you're not paying their wages, but you're actually tapping on their experiences. And I think by and large, a lot of the guys here do that. They could be just an informal setting, sitting down having a cup of coffee, and then they could be discussing about certain projects or work that they could help each other on.
So what are the targets that you're working on right now in terms of the people that are ideal to join with Nook?
Ideally, they can offer. There is a long-term and a short-term objective. The short-term objective is, of course, to get as many people here as possible.
Sure, of course.
The long-term objective is to try and curate the space in a way where you get a diversity of talent.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a bit like, no point painting a paint. If you're drawing a painting, if you're doing a painting, if the only colors you had was blue, then you always end up with a blue painting, right? So if you had many colors, chances are you'll be able to paint something a little more vibrant.
Right.
Right. So similarly, if we had different people with different talents, different mindsets, different interests working here, then the diversity becomes interesting. Okay. For example, if you had like 5 programmers working in the same space, then what are they going to tap on each other?
Sure.
They're just going to talk code all day.
Yeah.
Right? But if you put a programmer and an artist together, then suddenly there's a website. Right? Or if you put then a marketing guy, then you have a website that could sell stuff. So that's what we are trying to do in the long run. Perhaps if we can get a little more diversity within a space, then you will get a little more vibrant as a space. But short-term wise, we will get anybody. I mean, if you need a place to work, this is a place for you.
So what was the occupancy like? How many spaces are vacant right now?
We probably can accommodate about 25 people comfortably if all the spaces were utilized. On average, we have about maybe 5 or 6 people at any one time here. A lot of them, they have meetings outside, so they come and they go. There's also a group of people that work here called O&R, and they only operate here on Saturdays and Sundays, because they use this place as their workshop as well as their place to display some of the stuff that they make. And,
right.
And they do some retail here as well.
Right.
So while we have a list of tenants, they're not always here at the same time. So we always have that flexibility of space. Right now, we could, if more people were to do drop-ins, that would be nice. People who may not want to commit for long term, but they just want to come here to work for 1 or 2 days to get away from the coffee shop or just get away from home. We welcome that.
What about, okay, now certain regions are rich with a certain type of working creativity. Like for example, if you're talking about places like Kajang and all that, these are manufacturing garment set of industries. What do you see, Bangsar? Coming back to your earlier story about you found this place and you felt that this is the right spot. What is it that you see about Bangsar? What do you see about this spot that made you say, yeah, this is it?
Well, Bangsar, I think, has always been the center of PJ and KL. Right, and as a suburb, it's one of the most vibrant suburbs you can find. In terms of affluence, I think it's very, very upper middle class. We have a lot of people who, I believe there are a lot of people here that are looking for this kind of services. As you can see around us, offices are starting to prop up like crazy.
Yes.
As a suburb, we're becoming more and more vibrant. You're right, somewhere like Kajang could be a bit more industrial, but Bangsar, I believe, it's quite savvy, or I don't know, can you even use the word yappy anymore? In the 80s, in this day and age, I don't know what they're called anymore. But I think the mobile warrior crowd,
Right.
Bangsar, I think is a pretty cool place to be. You know, it's close enough to KL. It's right next to PJ.
What type of people do you see more here? Do you see a lot of coders? Do you see a lot of makers? Do you see?
Right now we're getting a lot of interest from the tech crowd, obviously. We are quite close to some very big tech.
Mind Valley is just
Mind
around
Valley
the
is just around the corner. We have a couple of people from Mind Valley actually coming here to work. Maybe they want to get away from that space, you know, just to get a little bit of. But otherwise, you know, we do get a lot of the tech crowd coming here. I suppose also because the tech industry is attracting a lot of entrepreneurial mindsets, because they can do stuff now that they couldn't before. I mean, in the past, when you wanted to set up a business, it usually meant coming out with a whole chunk of, you know, capital to rent a shop, or, you know, do a lot of renovations, hire a lot of people and all that. But these days, I mean, you can set up your own business for relatively low capital outlay. A lot of it is your own time. So yeah, the tech industry, definitely quite a lot of those. I mean, like people like O&R and guys like Culture Run who work out of here, they are also in a way kind of associated to the web, because a lot of the stuff they do, even though it's a brick and mortar type business, is still physical. A lot of their sales still come from the web. So yeah, those kind of people.
Let's talk about the entrepreneurs that are tenants to Nook. What do you feel their challenges are, and what can Nook contribute to those to resolve those challenges for them?
Okay, I think the main challenge for most entrepreneurs are, a space to work from. Okay, to set up an office for themselves typically can cost, you know, at least 4,000 or 5,000 a month. If you factor in utilities, rental, cost of your equipment, and, you know, desks and all that, working out of a space like Nook is relatively cheap. You know, you don't have to have any outlay. You just have to pay and come, you know, and join us. The other thing which is challenging for them, which Nook addresses very well, is flexibility of working time. Nook is the only space, I think, in KL right now that offers flexible working hours for our permanent members.
Right.
So you can, you know, if you're a permanent member here, you can come and work any time of the day.
So you're saying 24 hours?
24 hours access, you know, pretty much. So you can come on Saturdays, Sundays. You can work till late if you need to. Most other spaces generally kick you out around 7 o'clock when they need to close. Or in a case of a coffee shop, you know, by 10 o'clock they're mopping around you, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard for them to, you know, get any kind of momentum going. And again, really, it's the opportunity to work with other people,
right,
that they won't get if they worked by themselves at home or in a cafe. You know, you can't just go next door to somebody sitting next to you and say, "Hey, can I bounce this off you?" It's rare. It's not very natural for that to happen. Whilst here, it is very natural. You can just look over at somebody's desk and say, "Hey, can you, do you have time, 10 minutes, and discuss something with me?" So that's very natural. And because we have so much space, it gives, co-workers all that flexibility to be able to wander around. They have like different meeting rooms. They can conduct meetings. They can bring clients here. And
are they able to do events?
We have had a few events here, like Culture Run. Sometimes they do some of their share shops here as well.
Right.
Sometimes it's just last minute. They need a space to do some sharing or some. They do these things called share shops, where they get people to come and learn stuff. So they do conduct some events here. O&R, they have their they have a physical store here. So on like last month they had about 200 guests on a Sunday. They all converged here. It was a block of people. It looked like a bazaar. It was quite fun because they brought in some musicians. They got from artists from different their friends, all these Etsy kind of guys from different shops. They brought them all here, and they all it became a nice big party. It was really.
So when they do sorry.
Yeah.
So when they do an event like that,
Yeah.
does that cost them additional fees?
Well, we try to help them.
Right.
You know, our costs. If you're going to have a meeting here, for instance, if you're a co-worker here, the only thing we charge really is cost of coffee.
Okay.
You know, we right now I think we charge $5 a head for you, and you know, if you have 10 guests coming to have a meeting here, your cost is already paid for, right? Because you're a co-worker here,
right?
But your guests are charged only 5 ringgit for coffee and tea. Yeah, I mean, which is very, very fair. Just
it's even cheaper than Starbucks.
Yeah, it is. It is. We do this because we want to encourage people to have meetings here,
right?
But then again, there's a bunch of people out there who just wants to have meetings here, you know, without being a co-worker here.
Okay.
So we say, okay, fine. We also make it very easy for you. We say, okay, one of you must be a co-worker. So we just charge you a 60 ringgit per day co-working charge. And then again, we charge 5 ringgit for coffee per person. And then we charge you for the rental of the meeting rooms, which is very, very fair, I think. But we are very flexible. We try and help as much as we can.
So, okay, what would be... But you, I remember you also mentioned that there are office services available through
other co-workers.
Yeah.
As I think I told you before, like my first co-worker is actually my accountant.
Right. Okay.
And because she works from home. Okay, so she's a freelance accountant, and she can do company secretarial services. She can look after your books. You know, practically take over all your back end stuff that any entrepreneur needs, right? So when she set up office here, anybody that comes to Nook to work, being an entrepreneur themselves, would invariably need her services.
Definitely.
Yeah. So like
real big in the pain.
Yeah, the first, I think she gets more clients than we do. You know, in a sense that she gets more business because.
She's double dipping.
She's double dipping, so to speak. But that's fine. I mean, that's what we're trying to encourage people to do. Because I need her here because it's better for her to be next to me, right? Because then I can, you know, get her feedback or get things done on the spot instead of calling and making appointments, right? So yeah, she definitely gets a lot of referrals through Nook.
So that's the synergy we're talking about for
that is a
tenant,
absolutely
a new tenant.
Yeah, and this cross-pollination things happen all the time. You know, we have some guy who he's a programmer, and Cultura needed somebody to help their tech team, and now I think he's part of their tech team. You know, so those kind of things happen, and I think it will continue to happen. So, and it can only happen when you're here. If you're sitting at home, you won't get that opportunity.
You don't get that. You only get 4 walls.
That's right.
And Facebook.
Yes.
Perhaps Diablo.
And then you're wasting your time.
Then of course there's the couch and the telly.
Yeah.
Right. So okay. Now previously I've asked you before what is the top 3 thing in your mind for entrepreneurs. But let's twist it a little bit and let's talk about entrepreneurs in general. Okay. Right. Someone who wants to start up, but you know, the idea of an office and stuff like that. What would the top 3 things you would share to this individual?
I think if you can...
Top 3 things that this guy or this girl have to think about in order to get started. What would those 3 things be?
Well, I think it hasn't changed so much. You really need to have the passion to do what you're doing.
Sure.
Right? You need to know, you need to have a fairly decent business plan. You need to know where the revenue is going to come from. Ultimately, you don't make money, nothing's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But do try and collaborate, because if you're just going to do it by yourself, you're going to run out of energy very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
And you don't get a full-on 360 creativity.
Yeah. You want to make use of spaces like Nook. Whether or not you work out a Nook or you work out a Fluent space or Alt space and all these other spaces out there, make use of it. Try, because by investing a little bit of money and belonging to a office, right, makes a lot of difference, because the disciplines are different. When you work from your home and you work from an office, the disciplines are different because you tend to compartmentalize that way. Home is home. This is where I sleep. This is where I rest. Office is where I work, right? And if you can do that, then I think you become more productive. And as an entrepreneur, if you're not productive, then what are you? You know, you're working for yourself. If you cannot capitalize on that, then where else are you going to be able to make ends meet, right? The other thing is, I said, collaborate. Whether you do the collaboration in a co-working space or not, make sure you can find people that can help you develop your ideas and stuff like that. You cannot do it by yourself. It's impossible. Even I can't do it by myself. I need other people to help me, right? So do that. You must collaborate. You find people that are willing to help you do that. And last and foremost, I guess is make sure that you're committed to it. You know, if you are not committed after 2 or 3 months, it will fizzle out.
Yeah.
And I guess because like this day and age, right? Most business startups are quite easy.
Yes.
You don't have to spend a whole lot of money. So the commitment also, you know, not so bad lah. Right. I just lost 6 months of my life. So what's the big deal, right?
Right.
So maybe the commitment of young entrepreneurs need to be a little bit more strong. So by investing in doing stuff and all that, you know, perhaps that will also encourage them to, you know, push a bit harder to make things work. Instead of like, say, I'll give 6 months and try and see. You know, I don't think that is really the best business plan that you can have.
You know, Kamal is selling Fluent Space?
Yes. He is selling Fluent Space because I think he's going to move to San Francisco.
Yeah, massive deal in San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, he's very talented, right? He's one of the foremost Ruby on Rails developers in the world.
Yeah.
And I think having an opportunity to move to San Francisco to pursue those dreams,
who won it?
Who won Fluent Space?
Who want to go to San Francisco?
Who wouldn't want to go to San Fran? Yeah.
You'll be right smack in the middle of
everything. Yeah. I wish him all the luck, man. I spoke to him on Twitter, and we, you know, I said it's a pity that you want to sell the space because.
So you're gonna buy over?
I can't afford it. And I already got this space. You know, I need to fill this up first. But yeah, I wish the people. I mean, wish Kamal all the luck.
Yeah.
I hope somebody does buy it over.
So for an entrepreneur starting up in a co-working space like this, do you feel that a co-working space should be the be-all and end-all for these entrepreneurs, or is this a phase?
It's a phase, you know. Ultimately, we are hoping that you outgrow the working space,
right?
Because you have to treat this space as an office, but only for a while. Because you always need to be able to, as an entrepreneur, grow, right? You want to be able to grow beyond just you. If you're just doing the business by yourself, then you're no different from the guy who's frying the meat in the coffee shop. Because you'll be stuck there all your life.
Yeah.
An entrepreneur needs to think about how I can exit from it. How can I get a team around me that I don't have to be frying the noodles every day, right? So eventually, a co-working space, you will outgrow that co-working space. And perhaps then it's time for you to move out, you know. And you know, personally, I hope that happens because eventually, if this space allows you to grow, and then you move out, I'll be the proudest parent in the world, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
You see somebody who's come through our gates and they have thrived and they've prospered, and now it's time for them to go somewhere else. By all means, go. Because that would have, you know, really achieved a moral victory for people like us.
So you also have some emotional investment into their business.
Definitely.
So do you feel for these individuals, but if they and also for a young entrepreneur who has never started an office before, I believe if they start off at a co-working space, they would be with a group of experienced individuals. That when they move on, the crowd is coming.
The crowd's coming in.
So when they moved on, at least they are already experienced office managers. Do you feel that?
I don't know if that's going to happen. A lot of the guys that do work out of the space are relatively young. I don't think they have like years and years and years of experience. But I hope we provide some of that, you know, grounding for them.
Right.
I always say to anyone who works out of the space, just make use of me. I've been working as a marketing consultant or advertising consultant for years and years, right? So why don't you just tap on my experience?
Oh wow, free
Free of
advertising.
charge.
Free advertising.
No, I mean
creative ideas.
free, consulting on
Yeah.
brands and stuff like that. I've been doing this all my life, right?
That's valuable. No?
It is,
I've
absolutely.
come across a lot of people, especially in the tech space. They have the technical know-how to make things happen.
Yeah.
Right, but they don't have the brand know-how.
Yeah.
So they don't have a way to compensate when they are
Why do people like to work in fluent space?
Right.
Because Kamal's there.
Yes.
He's one of the foremost
the tech guru.
Tech guru, right? So why would you want to work? Why would you want to work out of Nook? Because I cannot toot my own horn, but we can definitely help in other areas. Besides tech, it could be your branding, it could be advertising, and all that. We definitely can contribute there. Yeah.
Last question.
Sure.
I don't know how relevant this is going to be. So, zero or hero?
Okay.
Where is Nook right now?
Right now, I think we are finding our way out of a diaper.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a good expression.
That's a good expression. We're still learning a lot. I think we are kind of like a space, or any co-working space in Malaysia. To be fair, any co-working space in Malaysia is right now right at the forefront of what's going to happen in the next 20 years. I believe. Okay. As more and more people start to develop their own businesses, or they grow tired of working in corporations and all that, which is evident in more developed countries in Europe and in America. Everybody wants to do their own thing now. As these people start emerging, then spaces like Nook and Fluent Space and Alt Space, they become more relevant to the community. That's why I said, infant out and still in a diaper, because we are here, but we are not there yet. So it's really about how spaces like us can tie ourselves over in the long run. I mean, ultimately, it's still business. We still have to make ends meet. Are we making money? No, we're not. We could definitely do a lot better. But hopefully, we can stay long enough for this cultural revolution to occur, and it will. I don't think you want to work back. You probably don't want to go and work in a corporation if you can help it. And a lot of corporations are starting to break up their big, huge payrolls, and then rehiring these people as individual contractors, right?
Yeah.
So these things are happening all the time, and when that really happens, then we are heroes, because we've been here all this while. We've been, assisting people develop all these things. So, yeah, infant in diapers.
Thank you very much for your time, my friend.
Thank you.